Have you ever stopped to think about what the Earth truly is? We've been taught that it's a spinning globe hurtling through space, part of an ever-expanding universe. But what if everything we've been told is wrong? What if the truth has been hidden right in front of us, carefully concealed for centuries? Imagine, just for a moment, that the Earth is not a globe, but a flat, immovable plane encased by a protective firmament as described in the Bible. Why does this matter? Well, let's take a step back. The Bible, a book that many consider to be the ultimate authority, might just hold the answers to questions we've never dared to ask. Have we been misled about our place in the universe for so long? Could it be that the ancient scriptures have known the truth all along, while science has only caught up to what God had already revealed? In this video, we will dive into the depths of what the Bible says about the flat Earth model. You will learn why the scriptures describe a world vastly different from the heliocentric theory we've been taught. We'll explore the firmament, the fixed foundations, and the immovable nature of the Earth as God intended. Prepare yourself to uncover ancient truths, supported by verses from Genesis to Revelation that paint a picture of the Earth as a stable, flat plane enveloped under a solid dome. This isn't just a theory, it's a call to challenge the conventional narrative and discover the reality of God's creation. But as we walk this journey together, I urge you to consider, could everything we know about the universe be fundamentally flawed? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share what you believe the Bible says about the Earth. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because the truth we're about to uncover might just change the way you see the world forever. Let's begin this journey into divine knowledge, starting with what the Bible has to say about the flat Earth. From the very beginning, the Bible has been clear about the nature of creation. In Genesis, God's words describe an Earth that is not like the vast spinning ball we are often taught to believe. Instead, it's portrayed as a flat, immovable plane, created with intention and purpose. The firmament, as described in Genesis chapter 1, 6-8, is a solid structure that separates the waters above from the waters below, acting as a barrier to protect what God had made. This firmament, which holds the sun, moon and stars in place, is one of the central pieces of the flat Earth model. As we read through these ancient scriptures, it's important to note that the Bible isn't simply a spiritual guide. It's a detailed, divinely inspired account of the natural world. Psalm 19:1 speaks to the grandeur of creation. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. This isn't just a poetic verse, it is an invitation to see the order and purpose behind creation. Imagine for a moment that everything we've been taught about the cosmos, the stars, the moon, the sun, was all part of a perfectly designed plan, one that doesn't depend on a globe spinning through an infinite, chaotic universe, but rather on a perfectly placed Earth, secured by God's design. One of the most profound aspects of this design is the Earth's immovability. Psalm 93:1 says, "The world is firmly established, it cannot be moved." This simple yet powerful declaration shows us that the Earth was never meant to move or spin. It was meant to be a stable, secure foundation upon which life could flourish. God's creation isn't random or capricious. Everything was created with purpose, and everything is held in place by his will. Let's take a moment to consider the sun and moon, two celestial bodies that, according to the heliocentric model, should be millions of miles away, revolving around our spinning Earth. But the Bible paints a very different picture. Psalm 104:19 says, "The moon marks off the seasons and the sun knows when to go down." This isn't describing a distant, fixed sun, but a sun that moves in a circular path across the sky, directly above the Earth. Genesis chapter 1, 14-19 places the sun, moon and stars within the firmament, not in outer space, but contained within a specific, purposeful structure. This understanding calls into question the narrative we've been taught about the vastness of space and the seemingly infinite universe. If the sun and moon are within the firmament, then perhaps everything around us is more ordered, more purposeful than we've been led to believe. This brings us to the firmament itself, an often overlooked yet incredibly important concept in biblical cosmology. The firmament is not merely a poetic image, but a tangible structure that holds the sun, moon, and stars. In Genesis chapter 1:7, it is described as a dome that separates the waters above from the waters below. This dome is not a vague metaphor, it's a physical barrier, a protection for the earth and all that resides on it. It keeps the earth in its place, maintaining the order and stability that God intended. In Job 37:18, the firmament is described as being hard as a molten mirror, further emphasizing its solid and unyielding nature. Reflect on the implications of this. If the earth is a flat, immovable plane surrounded by the firmament, then what does this mean for how we view the universe? It challenges the modern understanding of space and time, presenting a vision of a contained world that is not subject to the vast, endless expanse of space. The Bible suggests that the earth is part of a perfectly designed, finite system, created by God's hands to be stable and secure. It's a world where the natural order is not chaotic, but divinely orchestrated. Now, let's consider the profound lesson we can learn from this biblical perspective. In a world where so much feels uncertain and unpredictable, the idea of a fixed, stable earth offers a deep sense of security. The earth doesn't spin aimlessly through space. It is anchored just as we are in God's purpose and design. This offers us a sense of grounding, reminding us that we too are part of something much larger, something that is intentionally held together by divine order. In a world where we often feel overwhelmed by forces beyond our control, this biblical vision of a stable earth reminds us that we are not at the mercy of randomness or chance. Our lives too are part of God's plan, anchored in His love and purpose. Just as the earth is firmly established, so too can we find peace in the knowledge that we are firmly held in the hands of a loving Creator. This understanding calls us to trust in God's design, to recognize that the world around us, with all its intricacies, is not the result of blind chance, but the work of a divine Creator. As we look to the future, let us take these lessons to heart. The earth, as described in the Bible, is not just a physical entity, but a symbol of stability, purpose, and divine care. The firmament, too, is a reminder that we are protected and held within God's creation, surrounded by a structure that keeps us grounded. In a world that often seems to be spinning out of control, this vision of a fixed, ordered earth offers us a message of hope. But the question remains, how does this understanding change our view of the universe and our place in it? If the earth is indeed a flat, immovable plane, how do we reconcile this with the modern scientific view of space and time? These are questions we will explore further in the next section, as we continue to seek the truth behind the biblical cosmology and its implications for our understanding of the world around us. For now, reflect on the stability and purpose that comes from this understanding. Let it serve as a reminder that, in the grand design of creation, we too are held in place by God's loving hands. The earth is not just a physical entity, but a symbol of divine order, a place where everything has been carefully placed and sustained by God's will. As we continue on this journey, may we find peace and comfort in the knowledge that the earth, our home, is part of a larger, divinely orchestrated plan. As we continue our exploration of the earth's true nature, we come to a profound understanding that echoes throughout the Bible. The earth is not just a physical entity, but a representation of God's divine order. The scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation, paint a consistent picture of a stable, flat earth, firmly established under the protective firmament. But what about the idea of the four corners of the earth? This phrase, found in Isaiah 11:12 and Revelation 7:1, has often been dismissed as mere metaphor. However, when we embrace the flat earth model, it takes on a whole new meaning. Isaiah 11:12 speaks of the Lord gathering his people from the four corners of the earth, a concept that is crucial for understanding the structure of the world, as described in the Bible. The phrase four corners refers not to the curved edge of a spinning globe, but to the extremities or boundaries of a flat, immovable plane. In ancient cosmology, the four corners often signified the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. These 4 points are the farthest reaches of the earth, marking the limits of God's creation. When the Bible speaks of gathering people from the four corners, it is referencing the entire earth, stretching from its outermost points. This idea aligns perfectly with the flat earth model, where the earth is depicted as a plane with definite boundaries, not a sphere with no end. In Revelation 7:1, we see a similar mention of the four corners, where the angels stand at the four corners of the earth, holding back the four winds. This image is not merely symbolic, but reflects a deep understanding of the world's structure. The four corners represent the outer edges of the earth, and the winds are restrained from moving freely beyond these boundaries. This reinforces the idea of an earth that is contained, with specific limits that are governed by divine authority. The earth, as described in the Bible, is not subject to the chaotic forces of an expanding universe, but is held in place by God's design. The four corners are not just geographical markers. They symbolize the ordered nature of God's creation, a creation that is complete and fixed in its purpose. Now, let us turn our attention to another key aspect of biblical cosmology: the sun, moon, and stars. In the heliocentric model, these celestial bodies are distant objects, each with its own orbit in the vastness of space. However, in the flat earth model, as described in the Bible, these bodies are much closer and move in circular paths above the earth, enclosed within the firmament. Psalm 19:6 speaks of the sun's journey across the sky. Its rising is from one end of the heavens and its circuit to the other end. This verse doesn't describe a stationary sun with a rotating earth. Instead, it depicts the sun moving in a circular path, rising and setting in a predictable, ordered fashion. The movement of the sun is not dictated by the rotation of a spinning globe, but by its own circuit above the earth, within the protective firmament. Genesis chapter 1:16-18 reinforces this idea, stating that God set them, the sun, moon, and stars, in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth. This firmly places the celestial bodies within the firmament, not far away in the expanse of space. The firmament acts as a boundary that contains the sun, moon, and stars, placing them within a fixed structure that serves to illuminate the earth. The sun and moon are not distant, independent bodies. They are part of a divine system perfectly placed to serve the earth. This understanding challenges the modern scientific view of space and the universe, inviting us to reconsider our place in creation. But what does all of this mean for us today? The Bible's portrayal of the earth as flat and immovable, surrounded by the firmament and governed by divine order, carries profound implications for how we view our lives and our relationship with God. It offers a vision of a world that is not subject to the whims of chance or the laws of an indifferent universe, but one that is deliberately designed and sustained by a loving Creator. The earth is not just a place where we happen to live. It is a sacred space, created for a purpose and held together by God's will. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, this understanding of the earth as a fixed, ordered system offers a deep sense of peace. We are not lost in an endless, expanding cosmos. Instead, We are part of a carefully crafted creation, where everything has its place and purpose. Just as the earth is firm and secure, so too can we find stability in our lives when we trust in God's design. The earth's immovability symbolizes the unwavering faithfulness of God, a faithfulness that we can rely on as we navigate the challenges of life. This understanding also calls us to consider the role of the firmament in our own lives. The firmament is a barrier that separates the earth from the waters above, providing protection and structure to the world. In the same way, we are called to seek protection and structure in our own lives, to build a foundation that is firm and secure. Just as the firmament holds the sun, moon, and stars in place, we are called to find our own place within God's design and to trust that He has set us within a framework of love and purpose. But there is more to this biblical vision of the earth than just order and structure. The earth, as described in the Bible, is a place of beauty and harmony, where everything works together in perfect unity. The sun rises and sets in its circuit, the stars shine in their place, and the four corners of the earth are held in balance. This harmony reflects the nature of God's creation, a creation that is not only ordered, but also filled with divine purpose and beauty. When we look at the earth in this way, we begin to see it not just as a physical object, but as a testament to the glory of God. As we continue to explore the flat earth model and its biblical roots, let us reflect on the lessons we can learn from this understanding of creation. The earth is not a random, chaotic place. It is a carefully crafted system, created by God for His purposes. The sun, moon, and stars are not distant and unreachable, but are part of a divine order that serves the earth. And just as the earth is fixed in place, we too are called to find our stability and purpose in God's design. This vision of the earth as a flat, immovable plane surrounded by the firmament offers a profound message of peace and security. In a world that is often uncertain and unpredictable, we can find comfort in the knowledge that the earth, our home, is part of a larger, divinely ordered plan. As we look to the heavens, let us remember that the earth is not just a physical entity, but a reflection of God's love, care, and purpose. As we delve deeper into the biblical perspective of the earth, one of the most striking features that emerges is the way the sun, moon, and stars are described. In the heliocentric model that many of us are familiar with, these celestial bodies are distant objects, each with its own orbit, far removed from the earth. But the Bible offers us a very different vision of the heavens, one that is far more intimate and purposeful. Psalm 19:6 tells us that the sun's rising is from one end of the heavens to the other, illustrating a circular journey across the sky rather than the earth rotating around a fixed sun. This is not just poetic language. It reveals a purposeful, divinely designed system in which the sun moves in its circuit above the earth. The verse is not describing a stationary sun and a rotating earth, but a world where the sun moves across the sky within the firmament, illuminating the earth in an orderly, consistent manner. Imagine that, just as the sun rises and sets, it is part of a divine plan, a cycle that has been established since the creation of the world. In Genesis chapter 1:14-19, the Bible further reinforces this idea when it states that God set the sun, moon, and stars in the firmament of the heavens. This is a powerful statement that places the celestial bodies not in an infinite, distant universe, but within a protective, structured dome, our firmament. These bodies are not floating aimlessly in space, but rather they are carefully placed by God to serve a specific function, to give light upon the earth, to separate day from night, and to mark the seasons, days, and years. This is a significant departure from the modern understanding of space, where the sun and stars are thought to exist in an ever-expanding universe, billions of light-years away. Instead, in the biblical worldview, These celestial bodies are very much within reach, part of the divine order above us, moving within the confines of the firmament. The implications of this biblical model are profound. If the sun and stars are contained within the firmament, this suggests a world that is not subject to the chaos of an infinite, expanding cosmos. Instead, it presents a universe that is enclosed, ordered, and purposeful, one that is governed by divine law, with everything in its place. The movements of the sun, moon, and stars are not random or aimless. They follow a divinely established path, serving the needs of the earth and its inhabitants. In this way, the earth is not a tiny speck in a vast, indifferent universe. Rather, it is at the center of God's creation, a place that He has designed with care and attention to detail. Reflecting on this, we can learn a powerful lesson about the nature of order and purpose. Just as the sun rises and sets in its ordained circuit, we too are called to find our place in God's plan. In a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable, the idea of a fixed, stable earth offers us a profound sense of peace. We are not alone in a vast, meaningless universe. Instead, we are part of a creation that has been designed with purpose, a creation that is held together by the loving hand of God. This understanding invites us to reflect on our own lives and seek to align ourselves with the divine order that has been established from the beginning. It's easy to feel lost in the modern world, overwhelmed by the rapid pace of change and the uncertainty of the future. But the biblical model of the earth offers us a different perspective, a world that is steady, anchored in God's design, and unshaken by the forces of chaos. The sun, moon, and stars, with their predictable paths and cycles, serve as a reminder that we, too, are part of a larger plan, one that is guided by God's wisdom and love. When we feel uncertain, we can turn to this divine order for comfort, knowing that just as the sun rises and sets according to God's will, so too can we find our way in His plan. As we move forward, we must also consider the concept of the firmament itself. In Genesis chapter 7, the firmament is described as a solid structure that separates the waters above from the waters below. This firmament is not merely a metaphor, it is a physical barrier, a protective dome that holds the heavens in place. It serves as a boundary, keeping the earth safe from the chaos of the waters above and ensuring that the earth remains stable and secure. The firmament also acts as the boundary within which the sun, moon, and stars move, giving structure to the cosmos. In Job 37:18, the firmament is described as hard as a molten mirror, emphasizing its solid, unyielding nature. This solid firmament serves as a protective shield, keeping the earth and its inhabitants safe from the overwhelming forces that exist beyond. In the biblical cosmology, the earth is not floating aimlessly in space. It is firmly established, surrounded by a protective firmament that holds everything in place. This image of the firmament offers us a powerful lesson about the importance of boundaries and protection in our own lives. Just as the firmament keeps the earth safe, we too need boundaries to protect us from the chaos that surrounds us. We are called to seek refuge in God's design, to find security in His plan, and to trust that He has placed us exactly where we need to be. Reflecting on the firmament and its role in the biblical worldview, we can also draw a deeper spiritual lesson. The firmament acts as a reminder that God has created a structure for our lives, one that is meant to provide stability and protection. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, the firmament is a symbol of God's faithfulness and provision. Just as the firmament separates the earth from the waters above, God separates us from the forces of confusion and disorder, offering us a secure place within His will. The lessons we learn from the sun, moon, stars, and firmament are not just theoretical. They have profound implications for our daily lives. We are reminded that we live in a world that is part of God's perfect design, a world that is ordered and purposeful. The movements of the celestial bodies are a reflection of the divine order that governs our lives, and we are called to align ourselves with that order. When we do, we can experience the peace and stability that come from living in harmony with God's will. The image of the firmament also challenges us to reflect on our own spiritual boundaries. Just as the firmament serves as a protective barrier for the earth, we are called to establish boundaries in our own lives to protect ourselves from the forces of chaos and temptation. These boundaries are not meant to restrict us, but to guide us on the path that God has set before us. When we embrace the boundaries that God has established for our lives, we can find true freedom, the freedom to live in His love, to trust in His design, and to walk confidently in the purpose He has set for us. In a world that constantly challenges our sense of stability and security, the biblical view of the earth offers a profound message of hope. The earth is not just a random, chaotic place. It is a creation that has been carefully designed and ordered by God. The firmament, the sun, the moon, and the stars are all part of His divine plan, and they serve as a reminder that we, too, are part of that plan. When we align ourselves with God's design, we can experience the peace and stability that come from living in His will. This understanding calls us to trust in God's wisdom, to find our place within His plan, and to live with the confidence that we are securely held in His loving hands. As we continue this journey, we are invited to reflect on the lessons of divine order, protection, and purpose that are found in the biblical cosmology. The earth, with its firmament and celestial bodies, serves as a powerful reminder of God's perfect design, a design that we are all called to embrace. As we come to the end of this exploration into the biblical truth of the earth's design, it's impossible not to feel a sense of awe and peace in our hearts. We've journeyed through the scriptures, uncovering a world described by the Creator Himself, an earth that is flat, stable, and beautifully purposeful, unlike the chaotic universe we've been led to believe in. The Bible's portrayal of the firmament, the four corners of the earth, and the celestial bodies within it, offers a profound and comforting view of the world, a world that is not a random, spinning mass in space, but a carefully crafted creation, designed with intention and love. Think about the sun, the moon, and the stars, each one set in its place by God, moving in perfect harmony, creating a rhythm that allows us to live, grow, and thrive. This is no accident. Every day, as the sun rises and sets, we witness God's design unfolding before our eyes. It is as if the entire universe is a grand symphony, and we, as part of this creation, are invited to find our place within it. The earth is not a mere speck in an infinite cosmos, but a stable, firm foundation held secure by the Creator's will. And so are we, secure in His care, protected by the boundaries He has set for us. In the world today, where chaos often seems to reign, it's easy to lose sight of the beauty and stability that God has provided us. But when we turn to the Scriptures, when we look at the creation He has made, we are reminded of something so much greater. We are reminded that the earth, this world we live in, is not random or futile. It is divinely orchestrated, just like our lives, each of us placed here for a purpose. And in this truth, we find peace, knowing that we are not floating aimlessly through an endless expanse, but are firmly placed, grounded, and loved. The firmament, a structure that has long been overlooked, is a symbol of God's protection, reminding us that there is nothing in this world that is beyond His control. The sun, moon, and stars, moving in their paths, serve as a visual reminder that everything in creation has been placed with intention and care. It's easy to feel small in this vast world, but when we realize that the earth is part of a divine, ordered system, we begin to understand that we are not insignificant. We are deeply connected to this creation, and we too have a place within it. This realization brings with it a deep sense of comfort. As you reflect on these truths, I invite you to consider the immense value of knowing that your life is not subject to the whims of a random universe. Instead, you are part of a grand design, intricately woven into the fabric of God's plan. The stability of the earth, as described in the Bible, is a reflection of the stability that we can find in our own lives when we place our trust in Him. In a world that often feels unstable, this assurance that we are held secure within God's plan is truly life-changing. If this video has touched your heart and helped you to see the world through a new lens, if it has brought light to the dark corners of your soul, then I ask you to consider sharing a little of that energy with me. Your support, no matter how small, helps me continue creating content that shares the truth of God's Word, that helps others find the peace, stability, and hope that comes from understanding His creation. Every like, every comment, every share, it's not just a gesture, but a ripple of light that spreads further than we can imagine. If this video has made a difference to you, if it has helped you find clarity or renewed your sense of peace, then I humbly ask for your support to keep going. Your encouragement means more to me than you know. The time you spend watching, commenting, and sharing, it all plays a part in spreading these truths to more people, helping them to see the beauty and purpose of God's design for the world. This journey we're on isn't just about uncovering facts or disproving misconceptions. It's about reconnecting with the Creator, seeing the world as He sees it, and allowing His peace to wash over us. When we recognize the divine order in the world around us, we also recognize our place within it. We are not here by accident, and our lives have meaning. The earth, as described in the Bible, is a reflection of that meaning, a place where everything is designed with love and purpose. I hope this message resonates with you, and I encourage you to share it with others who may need to hear this truth. Whether through a comment, a like, or sharing with a friend, your support helps spread the light of God's Word. The beauty of this divine order is that it's meant to be shared. We are all part of a bigger story, and together we can help others find their place within it. Thank you for taking the time to watch and reflect with me. Your support, your engagement, your kindness, it's all a blessing. And I am deeply grateful for each and every one of you who joins me on this journey of discovery and faith. Together, we can uncover the deeper truths of God's creation and live more fully in the light of His love. May we continue to grow in understanding and peace as we walk this path, hand in hand with the Creator. If this message has touched you, I invite you to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear how these truths have impacted you. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can continue this journey with me. With your support, we can continue to dive deeper into the wisdom of God's Word and share it with others. Thank you again with all my heart for being part of this community. May God bless you abundantly.